So, you and your younger self are sitting down to a sister brunch. What do you tell her?
So y'all, this is Erika Green Swafford. And what I'm telling her is don't block your blessings and to get out of your own way. Just continue to say yes, kiddo.
Ms. Noelle Green.
I wrote down what I would say because I really thought about this. And so is it okay if I read it? Okay. There will be highs and there will be lows throughout life and in this business. Find your healthy middle ground, hold your core, and love thyself. You need this foundation to rise above it all and stay confident, secure, and happy. Don't compare yourself to anyone along the way. Be you. And hold on to the good people around you and show up best for them. I hope this resonates with somebody who doesn't believe in themselves or is scared to take a chance, because we were all that person at one point and we just bolstered up and dove in, and that's what you have to do.
Hey everybody, it's Tayanna Todd here, and I'm such a planner. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I'm always about precision. And I think we would be talking about being open to what God has for you at every stage of the journey, at each season, because it's always better than anything we could expect or imagine. My plans are so small compared to what's really possible. So I think what I would say to young Tayanna, this is probably, 9, 10, or kind of right at that pinnacle, high school age too, is everybody's figuring it out at their own stage of the journey. And you have permission to figure it out as well. You don't need to know the answer or to find the right answer. You can find an answer that works for you. You can take a step. And as you know more, you can do more. As you grow, you'll change and you'll adapt, trusting the process, owning your own journey, and figuring it out and having faith that it will work out. You don't need to sweat it.
Hi, this is Nandi Bowe. I used to do this thing called Waffles and Wisdom with African American youngsters. And I used to say to them, I'd say, you are what you do, you are what you say, and you are who you share your blessings with. And I really believe that. I really believe that you have to look forward and look back at the same time. You definitely have to sort of bring people with you, and you have to sort of really listen to the people who've come before you.
Hi, my name is Meagan, also known as MeaganzWorld. What I would tell her, my younger self, I would tell her to just stay true to herself and always follow her aspirations, because that's going to take her far. And be mindful of who's sticking by you and who you should take to the wayside. Just continuing on with her dreams, goals, and aspirations. About content, don't pigeonhole yourself into one thing. If you're interested in something, explore that. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. At least you've tried it.
I'm Shirlyn A. Cesar. I guess one of the things I wish that I grabbed a hold of sooner was that, it'll work out. Hold on a second, right? The freelance life is very hard. It is really, really hard. Particularly now, I acknowledge life post the strikes. It doesn't matter who you are, what your rank is, what your title, the industry has evolved, it has changed. It's hard. It was hard before, it's really tough now. So there is some grace to give yourself in that in-between, in that tough moment. I feel like in between gigs, it would just be like, I'm never gonna work again. And it's just you will work again. You don't know how, you don't know the time, those are the things that are outside of your control. But you can continue to put the work in, meaning you can continue to network, you can continue to follow up on emails, set a reminder to text someone, or whatever that looks like for you. I used to tell myself, later on, a difference a day makes, because you could be struggling. And we've all been there at different times, right? Struggling, having the hardest time. And then in one day, with one phone call about that one job, working with that one person, the difference a day makes. So when you get to the end of that day, when you realize like, okay, it wasn't today, cool, it could be tomorrow. It's not tomorrow, cool, it could be next week.
Hi, I'm Daysha Broadway, A.C.E. I would tell her to take some time to herself. Like, go, just, you know where your happy place is, and you should go there more often, and trust that you are always going to be okay, because you have you, like, no matter what, and you know who you are. I think even in college, I think I was very motivated, very ambitious, and was always going to make sure I landed on my own 2 feet, no matter what the situation, but was always stressed as hell about it, instead of just trusting that, you know that I could take care of things and everything's going to be okay. Like, and everything is going to be okay. Like I said, it depends on the age. If this is like tiny Daysha, I would just give her a big old hug. He needed a hug. If this is college Daysha, like, my God, calm down. It's gonna be okay. It really is. So stop doubting that.
Hi, this is Khalilah Joi. I would tell her so many things, but the first one would be, you're okay. You're okay. The way you are right now is okay. And everything will be okay. Because I've always been a very anxious person. I grew up overweight and was bullied relentlessly as a child. Growing up in the 80s and 90s is different than today. There was no inclusion, and there was no body positivity. So you got it from everywhere. Kids, adults, it didn't matter. And I just want her to know that there's nothing wrong with her. Like, you are beautiful and funny and kind and loved, and you're okay, and everything is going to be okay. And the other thing I would say is, don't worry so much about what other people think of you. I have broken free of being a very intense people pleaser and wanting to make everybody happy, even at my own expense. So I would love to tell her to do what makes you happy. They'll be fine. And if they don't like you, that's fine too. That's okay. The world is so wide.
Hi, this is Krista Shaniece Roman. I'll tell her that it will get hard. It's not going to be easy. And there's always going to be pitfalls. There's always going to be naysayers. There's going to be a lot of moments where you just want to give up. But I think there's beauty in the pain and finding, how pain can resonate with you. And yes, pain makes you stronger, but pain also builds character. Pain is sometimes, in order to move to the next level, you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. And I've learned that so much in my personal and my professional life. Just really saying, I got to get out of this box. How do I get to the next level? What does the next level look like? And so I would just tell her, like, don't run away from the uncomfort. That discomfort is important and it's good for you. And you can't listen. You also got to drown out the noise, because there's a lot of distractions and a lot of times where I didn't make certain decisions that I should have made because I was consumed with, what do you think? Well, what do you think? Being more confident in my decision making and saying, I know what I need to do. And so it's going to get rough, girl, but I'll see you in a couple more years and you'll be happy and fine.
Hi, my name is Loretta Edwards-Wilson, and what I would tell her is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Your dreams are placed in your heart for a reason. So don't be fearful of going after them. You can obtain them. They're definitely there to guide you to where you need to be. That's what I would say.
Everyone, it's Morenike, Joela Evans. And the little girl I see, she's like 7 or 8. And I think what I would say to her is, like, trust your light and your energy, like, because sometimes when you
exude a certain energy, it really upsets people for some reason. You know what I mean? And so it makes you doubt, why are you happy? Why are you this? Why are you that? So just trust like who you are inside, and also trust like your inner voice and your gut. Every time I followed like a thought or a belief, even if it felt crazy, it paid off. So just like trust it even when people are like, how can you da-da-da? Just keep going. Keep going, little Nike. That's what I'd say. Yeah.
This is Alyson Fouse, and what I would tell her, love yourself, be patient, and you're not crazy when you imagine all those different worlds and places and have those conversations in your head. Because you will find your ilk out there, a bunch of other nerdy people who love words as much as you do and can imagine and see the vision the same way you do. And don't edit yourself. Don't do it. You know, I mean, sure, if you're about to cuss somebody out for no reason, maybe do that. But if you have an idea, especially in comedy, if you think it's funny, say it. You know, the only thing I regret are the things I didn't say. You know, that's all. Just go for it. Pitch it.
Thanks for joining for another episode of the Sista Brunch podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave a review wherever you listen to your podcast. It really helps support the podcast.
We appreciate your follows on Instagram at Sista Brunch Podcast, where you can also find your community of Black women and gender expansive people. Watch, comment, share, and subscribe. That's the key word, subscribe to our videos at youtube.com, Trujillo Media, and we're also on TikTok at Trujillo Media. Sista Brunch is brought to you by Trujillo Productions and was created by Anya Adams, Christabel Nsia Boadi, and Fanshin Cox.
Our producer for season 6 is Tasha Rogers. Sista Brunch is recorded on the unceded territory. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, you will hear that I've added some tribes to this. Sista Brunch is recorded in Los Angeles on the unceded territory of the Tongva, Chumash, Serrano, and Kiz peoples. Thank you so much for listening, following, reviewing, subscribing, and we will talk to you next week.